What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Yesterday, Halo just randomly dropped on PC. It's on Steam and the Windows Store. If you already bought the entire Master Chief Collection when Reach came out, you can just go download it now on your PC. And I gotta say, looking at it, it doesn't take much to run. You can run it pretty well on a basic laptop because it is, of course, a game from 2003, but they have made some updates and all of that, but it's there. You can play online, and it's pretty awesome. We're going to go over that today. Also, Nintendo has an interesting crossover coming up. We've seen weird crossovers with Nintendo so far this generation, even crossing over with Microsoft in some respects. But this is outside of games, and it's a little strange. We'll go over that today and more. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below as we push towards 400,000 subscribers. And we're going to start today with Dreams. We talked previously about how Dreams was able to get a person a job at a development studio in Europe, and that was a big deal online. People were getting really excited at the prospect of being hired from creating stuff in a game or a game engine like Dreams, but that's not the first time this has happened. That was just very widely publicized because Dreams came out and it was well regarded, highly rated and all of that. But Media Molecule talked with VGC in an interview and talked quite extensively about how they have hired people from Little Big Planet to work on Little Big Planet 2 even, and then going as far as to even bring in their first person from Dreams already. That was right at the end of last year, they're saying. And they go on to say that after having an awards show, others have even gone on to start developing games after working in Dreams. That's kind of the idea here, is that, of course, Dreams works to bridge the gap between if you have an idea for a game, you have the creativity and the idea, but that coding and developing a game through something like C, for example, or C++, it's gotten in the way. Like, you look at the coding and it's just super intimidating, don't want to learn all of that, but I have this idea. That's what Dreams is trying to bridge the gap over. Seems to be working. People are getting jobs from Dreams and creating games in it. So I had people comment before about the idea of it, and yeah, I mean, I would take a shot. See what you come up with. If you have an idea, go try out Dreams and see what you come up with. You never know who's watching. Also, we got an update on new games going to PlayStation Now. That, of course, is Sony's kind of Game Pass, but also streaming service. You can stream the games to your PC from the service, or if you have a PS4, you can just download the games and play them locally, similar to Game Pass straight up. And some of the games they're adding look pretty good. Here's an image that they put out. There are a few others like Dead or Alive 5 as well, but these are like the big ones that are going. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Control, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So not bad there. I was a little surprised to see Control, but I am still curious the relationship between Remedy and Sony as it is. You never know. There were even talks about Sony maybe buying Remedy at one point, but having these games added into PlayStation Now, which has a very large library of games to pick from, by the way, it's pretty solid. And I do think going forward, especially into next generation, Sony will have an emphasis on PlayStation Now, especially as what we're kind of dubbing now the streaming wars are starting to get underway, and GeForce Now, which was supposed to be convenient, is already running into its own issues with publishers and developers unsure of their games being there. I think we're going to run into things like PlayStation Now, xCloud, Stadia kinda, and whatever Amazon comes up with clashing, and Sony working to get these kind of games on there is just going to help them going forward with the large library and the fairly large subscriber base for PlayStation Now. So we'll see how this continues on, but PlayStation Now is not a bad value at its current rate with the games on there, and they keep adding more. Also, real quick, if you are someone who has been waiting for a simulation skateboarding game on the PlayStation 4, Skater XL was announced to be going there soon this year, so that's good at least, because the Xbox One has Skate 3 that is backwards compatible. You pop the disc in, it'll download it, or you can just buy it on the Microsoft Store. And everyone on the PS4 has kind of been waiting for Skate 4 maybe, and well, who knows if that's ever going to happen, but at least Skater XL appears to be coming this year. Again, they say soon, no given release date, but that was the same game that was announced last year during an Indies presentation for the Switch. So most likely it's going to release on both platforms at the same time, and that tells us that the Switch version is probably soon as well. Hopefully in the first half of this year. It's been progressing pretty well on PC. I actually have been playing it. I think I played it last a week or two ago. I usually play Skate 3, but I like to check in on Skater XL from time to time, and it's a cool concept where one stick controls right foot and the other one controls your left foot. But yes, good to see that the PS4 is getting a simulation skateboarding game. Now we just got to find out when. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. We're going to start with this odd crossover. Most people right now have their eyes on Nintendo, hoping that a Direct gets announced, right? Whenever Nintendo posts something up, it's like, where's the Direct? Yeah, I see you guys, I know. The wait is getting tough for a lot of people. It's like the longest I think it's been since a Direct has happened, so naturally, when you see these kind of announcements, it's magnified a bit, and the head scratching is worse at times. But let's take a look at this. Here's the tweet that was put out, and yeah, you're seeing that right. Levi's tweeted out the Levi's Cross Super Mario clothing line. It's going to be a clothing line inspired by Super Mario. Yes, that is correct. And we've seen apparel, of course, from these different companies before, so it's technically not new, but these appear to be a shot at more premium pieces of clothing, and they do have overalls in there, which is immediately what I figured. I said, okay, if it's going to be Mario related, they'll probably have some sort of overalls in there. We have a list here that Siliconera actually put together, and they're not cheap. Most of them range anywhere from $100 and up to $148. So we have a few cheaper ones, like a polo shirt for $55. Look, these are branded. They're supposed to be high quality, so they're not going to give them away, I guess. But I looked at some of them, and they don't seem too appealing to me, but I'm sure there are some people that will like them. They are currently only being sold in Japan, and strangely, they chose April 1st as their release date for this, so either this is really happening or they're playing the long game for an amazing April Fool's joke. I don't know, but okay, Levi's crossing over with Super Mario and Nintendo. We've seen other companies, we've seen PlayStation do their PlayStation shoes. Do you remember that? Those were actually kind of neat looking, and we've seen Microsoft, for some reason, make Xbox soap and shampoo and body wash. So I guess this isn't the craziest, the weirdest thing we've seen a company do, but it is a strange crossover for Nintendo. But hey, I guess if you want some high quality, clothing from Nintendo and Levi's crossing over, or if you're a collector of this kind of stuff, look forward to it April 1st. I don't know if it's going to be leaving Japan. They've kind of teased it a little bit with that tweets kind of mentioning that, oh, it will be releasing worldwide at some point, but for now, it's only in Japan. And this is also kind of leading up to, of course, them launching their big theme park in Japan around the Tokyo Olympics and all this. So there is a lot of stuff kind of going on in Japan wrapping around this. Maybe that makes sense for that. It was just a weird thing that caught me and I think a lot of people online off guard. But there you go. Levi's and Nintendo crossing over for some Super Mario related apparel. Next up, let's talk about Halo on the PC. We had Halo Reach released, and from there they say they're going to do them in chronological order. So Reach makes sense because that's like the first part of the story, the fall of Reach, and then we're moving into Halo Combat Evolved. It's a game that I loved on the PC back in 2003, but it's had some issues. It's had a long history of problems. The servers got shut down. They eventually got brought back by, I'm not even kidding, a patch put out by Bungie a couple of years ago. And now finally it's been brought into the Master Chief Collection, bringing it back on PC, and they are doing quite a bit here. Now, if you've already played it on like the Xbox, for example, with the Master Chief Collection, you're probably like, oh, what's the big deal? It's a big deal for PC gamers, trust me on this one. But it is showing up with full 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, and online multiplayer. You can also toggle the 60 frames per second off and just let your monitor's refresh rate take over with possibly G-Sync or FreeSync, and it's pretty good. I played quite a bit of it yesterday. Once it got dropped, I wasn't expecting it. They teased it the day before, and I figured that meant that, okay, a release date is at least coming. They'll say, oh, it's coming out, a week or two from now, get ready. No, they just said, it's available now. So immediately I go over, I download it. The download isn't too bad. I think if you already have the Master Chief Collection, it was like an additional 6 gigabytes for the campaign, and Halo itself for the multiplayer, which is awesome. If you already have Game Pass for PC, it should be there for you already. I went ahead and picked it up on Steam before, so I just went in and downloaded it, but you can also buy it separately at $9.99, or you can just pick up the full Master Chief Collection if you think you're going to be playing all of the Halo games. But I did work in a couple of online multiplayer matches, and after playing it on PC back in the day, and even kind of recently, it runs so much better online in the Master Chief Collection. Seriously, the connection is great, or as good as it can be, I guess, when you're playing first-person shooters online, and significantly better than what we were dealing with in 2003, and even like a few months ago when I fired it back up and played it with the servers coming back online with that Bungie patch. And now we can look forward to Halo 2, which is up next. And I have to say, their goal is to get all of these Halo games out this year. And we've of course had Reach come out now. We've had Halo Combat Evolved just now come out. Halo 2 could come out sooner than we thought. And then we're on to Halo 3. That is the big one. I really want Halo 3 to come out on PC. I think that is going to be amazing. But the fact that we're already getting through these, I really think we're going to get Halo Reach through Halo 4 done by December. And that is very impressive by them to get all of that ported over and ready to go. But if you're a big Halo fan, go check out Halo 1 over on the Master Chief Collection on PC, whether it's on Steam, the Windows Store, or Game Pass. Absolutely fantastic port and a lot of fun playing online. Next up, let's talk about Half-Life Alyx. That is coming up pretty soon, actually, a couple of weeks. And we had some gameplay videos released. There were 3 of them. They were dropped on Valve's YouTube channel, and they blew up online. This is probably the most anticipated VR title that I've ever seen. They're actually selling out of their Valve Index headsets, something they were having a hard time doing, and now they can't keep them in stock. But other headsets are also selling out because they are compatible with this game. And when I saw the gameplay, I gotta say, this looks good. This looks really good. I'm not even like the biggest VR fan ever, but if you're someone who was curious about VR and you saw this gameplay, you may be looking at the Valve Index and like, it's expensive, but this looks pretty good. Take a look at like the Oculus Rift. I believe those are compatible, like the Rift S and some of those controllers. Those might be a little bit more affordable. I understand the Index is supposed to be like the most compatible and built for it, and it comes with a free copy of Half-Life Alyx, but just keep in mind of that price on that Index. But check this gameplay footage out. There were a few things I noticed about this, but the biggest one, outside of just being the interactivity around you as you are moving around objects, opening doors to stop gunfire, and of course shooting right back with some pretty good precision, I noticed the movement seems to be a bit different depending on how you want it to kind of react to how you react to motion sickness. That's the biggest thing. You can teleport, which is it seems jarring, but it's actually a bit better on your equilibrium and how your mind reacts to what it's seeing while you are going through VR. Because if you just move normally in VR without moving in real life, it will affect you to the point where you could get motion sick. It's a strange thing to try to explain, much easier to give you a headset and have you just do it. So we have the one that just teleports you around with kind of this jarring effect. They do still have the ability to move around with control sticks, as IGN managed to point that out. But then they also have this smooth transition where instead of teleporting with this judder like all around, you have this thing where you press it, you choose your location, and it just has this smooth kind of slide to it. And I like that a bit better. But when you're in place and you're kind of working around cover and shooting and defending with doors and all kinds of things, it looked pretty good. Like I gotta say, I looked at that Index and I said, man, that might be worth it. It's weird because Half-Life, of course, is such a popular series, but the Index is like $1,000. Is it worth getting for that? Might be worth just getting a Rift S if not, because it should work fine on that. But that'll be a big one for Sony to pick up for their PSVR 2 if that is indeed in the cards for next year. But let's say you are looking at the Valve Index. It's been out of stock, but as you can see here with this tweet, it is going to be back in stock. That was found by Steam Database, who said Valve Index VR kits will be available for purchase on March 9th, starting at 10 a.m. Due to high demand, Valve expects available stock to sell out on Monday. So if you're someone wanting to pick one up for Half-Life Alyx, keep an eye out then. Otherwise, wait for the reviews to see this thing, because I feel like it probably will be one of the highest rated VR games ever. It is looking like super high quality, and it's Valve getting back into making an actual game again. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about some DLC that was released for Luigi's Mansion 3. We had heard about this previously, that there would be some multiplayer DLC. Well, Nintendo did release it yesterday. They announced it on Twitter, and then it went live on the game that you can download it if you did pick up that downloadable content. They also added a bunch of fixes that we'll take a quick look at here. But the biggest thing right now is that they added 3 new games to Scream Park, 3 costumes, 3 new floor themes, and 6 kinds of themed ghosts that will appear when Luigi wears one of the new costumes, and more. Now, some of the patch notes that they released for version 1.3.0 included several things like games in the Scream Park can now be played with just 1 player. And then they added a 20 floor mode, 5 new types of rare ghosts appearing. Ghosts will now appear in the Defeat the Crows and Collect the Coins, Gold Coins missions, and several other things in Scare Scraper. Otherwise, they had several kind of bug fixes and other things in the story mode and just general stability and improvements overall. So it's good to see Luigi's Mansion getting more content, because I really did like that game and it sold well, and I do think that there is a bright future for that series. So if you are a Luigi's Mansion fan, the fact that they're doing DLC and kind of working to get a bit further with this game after selling over 5 million copies is great, because that means, yes, I'm sure there will be a Luigi's Mansion 4. But if you forgot about the DLC, just know it is out now. You can go pick it up and play some more multiplayer with some new content. And we'll finish up with a comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from a Traveling Gamer saying, "This is happening too many times to use Spawn Wave. You say something and then hours later it happens. I'm starting to think you have inside information now. Say that it would be great if the PS5 reveal date would be announced today." Just, lucky guess. I mean, that's the way it goes with these kind of shows where they're going live in the morning, and then, there could be a press release or some kind of news released at like 9 or 10 a.m. That's the way it goes. But we're back, of course, each morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time. And if it's really, really big, I'll go live during the day with a new video for you guys. So again, make sure you subscribe, down below with notifications on, but I'll give it a shot, okay? Hopefully there be some sort of PS5 reveal, or I don't know, maybe Nintendo Direct. That'd be terrible. And ladies and gentlemen, let's go do it for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys. Hit the like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it is the Levi's cross Mario Nintendo thing. Is that a strange crossover, or is that should just be normal now, I guess, for clothing companies and video game companies kind of cross over with different things ahead of their theme park even? Also, what about Halo just randomly dropping on PC? Did you already play it? Let me know what you think about that. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.